Hello, welcome. What I want to share with you today is probably an overlooked but incredibly valuable paradigm shift tool. And it can help you create enormous change in your life very quickly. And I want to explain why. This is the value of journaling. And the reason why I got asked the question, what's the real value in journaling by someone on one of my groups? And the whole purpose of life that we understand is that we're constantly in a state of growth or change. And when we feel frustrated, it's because the rate of change or growth is not happening quick enough. We kind of seem to be plateaued somewhere. And there's a reason for that. It's very simple, the simple reason. We're all on this personal development journey together, and what's really important to understand is we're not meant to be doing it on our own. So if you find there's value in what I'm saying, then keep coming back, because my whole focus is to provide very simple tools for you to create change in your mind so you can change your life. It's that simple. Aristotle came up with the idea of first principle. And what that means is that everything in this world that we experience is built on a foundation of first principles. With human beings, it's the mind. Our thoughts become things, and we are the creator of our reality. We are the creator. And so if that's the case, then how do you think better quality thoughts so you can have a better quality outcome in your life? That's what the name of the game is. I mean, why would we want to go into life with struggle and sacrifice? No one does. But the world paradigm that most people grow up in, because we learn from the people that are in our family or our growing up environment, we learn from them, and they don't not necessarily people that have spent a lot of time figuring out how to get ahead in life easier. And it's not that difficult. So if we think about the whole concept of our thoughts becoming things, then let's think about a simple formula that was written in the original self-help book all those years ago, and it says simply, desire plus non-resistant belief equals desired outcome. That's it. The things that we want, we are very clear about that. We know what we want. We've been asking for those things forever, and that's where the frustration is, because why haven't they arrived? Well, it's because there will be a belief, a habit, a self-image, a routine that we're locked into, that we inherited in our journey through life, that through an experience we might have had when we were 4 years old and our parents are arguing about how difficult it is to earn money, and they've got no money. And so, with that experience at 4 years old, you made a decision that money causes unhappiness, or that it's hard to make. And so that's now formed a new belief. And when we do that, we're wired for what we call confirmation bias, to go out and find evidence to prove what we believe. That's why when people have disagreements on ideas, it's because everyone's convinced themselves of the validity of their belief. But often, if you really look at those beliefs, they were inherited at a young age when you didn't have the chance to reason with them, the ideas, and you inherited them, and you adopted them into your operating system, your paradigm. And you operated your life for this period of time. And when the frustration becomes great enough, then that's when the idea of journaling becomes so powerful, because you can uncover the dominant thought, the belief, the limiting belief that's causing the drama. How can we use journaling to help us to go from where we are right now to the next level of life experience that we desire? So the purpose of journaling is, it's a simple check-in. It's a simple means for you to connect with the creative side of yourself, which has significant importance, and I'm not going to go into detail with that today, but there are only two states of being. You're either connected or you're disconnected, and I'll talk about more of that in another episode. But journaling helps us become aware of where we're at. So we know what we want, desire, and then the limiting belief or habit or routine or self-image challenge that we may have is the resistance that's stalling us moving to the next level. And I'll give you a sort of a graphic idea about that in a minute. But there are probably 5. I did my own journaling about this whole idea, actually, because I have been journaling for a long time, but I've never really sat down and put pen to paper. So the first thing that's really important, it needs to be a fun process. It's not heavy. It's not you just chill out and start. You don't have to write a lot. You can write one sentence. I would suggest, and Bob Proctor was very clear about that, he always said, take a pen to paper rather than using electronic devices. And the reason for that is that you can type quite fast, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're engaging with who you are within. Whereas a pen, in fact, when Bob was trying to really shift something that was stalling him, he would write in his left hand an idea. He would write it over and over in his left hand because it required so much concentration. So that'll become his new dominant thought on that subject. So writing with pen to paper is a really powerful tool, and there's no reason to shift that idea and try and be modern and so on. It's meant to be an enjoyable, creative time. So, use your creative cursive handwriting. And I would start with, and Bob always maintained this, always write your goal at the top of the page, what you want. Okay, so you know what you want. Okay, then start to notice the dominant thoughts that come up when you write your goal down, and write those down, because there is something in those. Another idea with journaling is you might have some really strong but strange ideas that you wouldn't necessarily want to be sharing with people. But journaling gives you the space to write those down. Once they're written down, you can analyze if they actually have value for your life, and if they're valuable enough to share with other people. So it's just an easy way to create space with ideas that might not necessarily be recognized as good ideas by others. Not that you should care, but the space is really important to create clarity for yourself. And then the fifth point is that journaling helps you connect with your higher side of yourself. Some people call that your soul. Some people call it God of their understanding, or infinite intelligence. That's the time. So this is why it's important to, if you want to do this, if you do it sporadically, you're going to get sporadic results. If you make it a habit, and anyone can afford half an hour in the day, anyone can afford 15 minutes, where you take time to get to know yourself. It's all about awareness of who you genuinely are. And, journaling allows you to put your thoughts on paper. If it's not written, it does not exist. It doesn't exist. And your thought today will not be the same as the thoughts a year from now. So I'll give you the power of journaling. When my wife and I got married, a ex-business partner and a mentor of mine, Jeremy, said, Shane, open up a family book, a journal. Write down everything you want to achieve in your life. Let my wife write down everything she wants to achieve, and then what you want to achieve together. And when we got married, there was a short list what we wanted to achieve together. One of them was to grow old gracefully on the coast. When we wrote that, I was living my dream job in the middle of Africa in Victoria Falls, and I had no intention, I'm Australian born, but I grew up in Zimbabwe, I had no intention of moving. I loved what I did. But we wrote we're going to grow old together gracefully on the coast. And I didn't know that a place called Noosa even existed. And this is where we live, in paradise. So it's amazing how it works when you write down what it is that you want. And it's very powerful. And I'd keep those journals, quite special books. I've got all kinds of journals behind me here that I've been writing since 2005, and even before that, actually. And a lot of what I've written in those journals has come to pass. They're things that I wanted. I write out a story of an ideal day in my life in 2005, and actually I'm living it right now. And that was when I was broke. So there's power in journaling. It really is. And it's just a light process. I would keep it consistent. I'd do it daily. I'd make it enjoyable. I would keep it light, but look for meaning. It's a simple way to get clarity, to uncover solutions. And importantly, the important thing is to recognize a belief, which is a decision you made sometime back in your life, that's not serving you anymore, and you can make a new decision, a new belief. When you do that, now you're lifting your level of life. You're lifting the game that you're going to be playing from the inside out. And when you make that new decision, automatically confirmation bias, yours, will go out to find the evidence to prove that your new belief is sound. And it will. And so that's a progressive way to, if you can imagine that we all have limits of what we believe is possible for us. I call that a boundary of constraint, okay? And it's not the truth, because other people are living the life that you want to live. And if they can, you can. So they're just limiting beliefs. They're not the truth. So when you make a new decision, a new belief that's outside of your boundary of constraint, now you're expanding your boundary of constraint of what's possible for your life. And that's a really important process. So I hope this helps. We're all in this journey together. And I have to say that I really appreciate that you listen to this, because I love talking about this. It transformed my life so dramatically. The 12-step program that I went through with Bob Proctor, it transformed everything for me. It took a business from one-man band to selling it for a very lot of, for my wife and I, made us financially independent. So these ideas are very transformational, and they actually work quite quickly. So that's why I like to give the idea of paradigm shift on the go, so that you can take these ideas and go into life and live your life and make incremental shifts in your mind in what you believe. And so if you change your mind, you change your life. And